Hello everyone, I'm Bethany Krishishnik. My microorganism's scientific name is Zaire Ebola virus, but it's more commonly known as Ebola virus. In 2014, an epidemic started in Guinea and spread to other parts of Africa. This outbreak lasted over 2 years. It infected 11 people in the United States. During this time, the incidence was 28,652 people, and of those infected, 11,325 people died. The prevalence from the discovery of Ebola virus in 1976 to current is 34,356, with a death rate of up to 90%. When considering the taxonomy classification of Zaire Ebola virus, the kingdom is Orthonavirae, phylum is Negaraviricotta, the class is Mongiviruses, the family is Filoviridae, the genus is Ebola virus, species is Zaire Ebola virus. Zaire Ebola virus is named for the region it originated. It was first reported in Zaire, located in Central Africa, but today it's better known as the Democratic Republic of Congo. The name Ebola came from the Ebola River. Villagers who lived near this river were the first to contract Ebola virus in 1976. Zaire Ebola virus is a communicable disease. This means the transmission vector is from person to person. It can be through bodily fluids such as blood, urine, semen, saliva, or feces. The mechanism of pathogenicity is through mucous membranes and broken skin. This means that even by touching an infected person's sheets or clothing, you can still become infected. Ebola virus is known to be zoonotic. This means that animals can act as reservoirs and vectors infecting humans. A reservoir is a place where disease can grow and multiply. So in my title, I put monkeying around with Ebola virus because it was once thought that gorillas and chimpanzees were the top reservoir of Ebola virus. And while a human can still contract it from chimpanzees and gorillas, it's been discovered that bats have been the top reservoir. Consumption or preparing what is known as bushmeat of bats, non-human primates, and other animals found in the wild is how it gets spread. This is any minimally prepared meat, such as when it's smoked, dried, or salted. This doesn't kill the virus. So how do you know if you contracted Zaire Ebola virus? Symptoms will appear anywhere from 2 to 21 days after initial contact with the virus. The average time you'll experience symptoms is 8 to 10 days. Like influenza, the symptoms experienced are head and muscle aches, fever, sore throat, nausea, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and vomiting. But it's also called hemorrhagic fever. This describes unexplained bruising, bleeding, and hemorrhaging. The FDA approved a vaccination in 2019 for this species of Zaire Ebola virus. However, if a person does become infected, they need to receive fluids and antibodies intravenously at a hospital. They also might need blood transfusions and medication for pain and nausea. When researching this virus, I chose the article Host Adaptation and Evolutionary Analysis of Zaire Ebola Virus, Insights from Codon Usage-Based Investigations, and I chose it because I found it fascinating they use codons to investigate host adaptation. This article hypothesized that by looking at codon usage, they'd better understand the adaptation of Ebola virus. Also, they can determine if bats make better reservoirs than chimpanzees or gorillas. Much research data went into testing their hypothesis. They used 308 Ebola virus genome sequences. They measured natural selection and coding sequences by using a neutrality plot. Codon adaptation indexes described how the codons were expressed and the levels that they reached. The researchers concluded that antagonistic codon usage patterns in natural selection explain how the codons performed in Ebola virus. They also confirmed that primates do not make good reservoirs as they show severe clinical signs of illness, and it's beneficial to the virus if the host can withstand the illness. Bats, however, show no symptoms, making them a better reservoir. In conclusion, take precautions if you visit Africa. Get a vaccination, be careful if you're around an infected person, and don't eat meat that has not been properly prepared.